Hi everybody, this is Scott Sharp with Fretboard Toolbox, and today we're going to look at improvising in the key of G major on the ukulele. This one happens to be a low G, but I'll try to keep away from that low G as much as I can, but every once in a while I'll just have to go there because I love that sound. So let's get started and I'll show you how it works. Today we'll be looking at a Fretboard Toolbox Complete Ukulele C Tuning Edition, and we'll be playing along with some free jam tracks from the Fretboard Toolbox website, Tracks and Tab, 200 free jam tracks. And I've got all these jam tracks for all these different keys. Today we're just going to look at the key of G major, some G major jam tracks. And on the toolbox side here, we're going to be able to see the two main scales that you want to know for the key of G major. And that is the G major scale and the G major pentatonic. And Fretboard Toolbox Complete books show you all of these chords that make up the keys and the Roman numerals and the scales and where those notes are laid out for all these different major keys, all the relative minor keys, and all the blues keys. So for the key of G major, today we're going to want to know these chords: G major, A minor, we won't play B minor, C major, D major, and E minor, and then the Roman numerals, so the 1, 2, we won't play the 3, 4, 5, and 6 chords. We'll skip the flat 7. And then you're going to be able to see all these notes in white are your major scale notes going across, and then every note that's underlined is your major pentatonic. So the 1, 2, 3 notes are all major and major pentatonic. The 4 note is just major. 5 and 6 are major and major pentatonic, and the 7 is just major. So today we'll use a little modified 3-note scale. You can always play the first 3 notes out of a major scale, G, A, and B, and make some cool solos with those, surprisingly. And then we'll play the whole major pentatonic, and then we'll play the whole major scale. So to see those chord progressions, they're right here, and then to see where those notes are all laid out, again, same idea. All major scale notes are in white boxes, and all the pentatonic notes, major pentatonics, are underlined. So to just show you, we can play just over a G major chord. If I just click that jam track, I'm going to play the notes G, A, and B, or G, A, and B, or G, A, and B up here. Those are all just those first 3 notes of that major scale and the major pentatonic. So G, A, B. And let's watch what happens with that. Okay, so that's just simple, like just messing around with those first 3 notes. Watch what happens when we do the major pentatonic over this. A, B, D, E. We could go all the way up to this G. And then D, E, G. And then I love this slide, A to B. And then a whole major scale. G, F sharp, E, D, B, C, B, A, G. Okay, so that was three different ideas, just the first three notes, G, A, B, then the major pentatonic, which is G, A, B, D, E, and then the last one was that whole G major scale. So that's just over a G major chord. Let's try it over a 1, 5, 4 progression now. And the cool thing is, if you can start paying attention to what notes make up the chord, then those are the notes you want to target in your soloing. So you can just play G major pentatonic just whenever you like, anything over a G major key, a G major song, but it's not always going to sound cool. It won't sound as cool as it does if you target these key notes, the notes that make up the chord. So for the when I played just that first three note scale, G, A, B, look at how the G and B are part of a G major chord. So those are going to sound really good when the G major is playing. And then the A note is going to sound really good over a D major chord, because D majors are made of D, F sharp, and A. So listen to that real quick and watch how when it's on G major, I'll focus mostly on G, A, B. Here's the D chord. Okay, it's on G. It's still on G. Now it's going to go to the D. Now for the major pentatonic. Now it's on the D. Whole major scale. Now it's on the D major chord. So I'm not trying to have you play every single note I'm playing today. I'm just trying to show you that if you just mess around with these notes that are in the key, these safe notes in white boxes, and if you target some notes from the chord that's being played, that's when neat stuff starts to happen. And so what I would do is I would pause this video and leave that fretboard up, and I'll show you later how you can get the key of G major pages for free. But leave that video or leave that fretboard up, and then put on some jam tracks on a different device, put on these jam tracks, and then start messing around with those scales and see what you can come up with. So let's look at a G, C, D, and on G major I'll target G, B, D, C major I can target C, Z's, or G's, and D major I'll target D, F sharp, and A. So let's listen to that here. I'll start with the G, A, B. Now it's on a C chord, on the D, on the G, it's on a C, on the D. Now let's do major pentatonic. Now the whole major. So that last one, there was one on the major pentatonic when it went to a C chord and I hit this E and G like this. And that works because that's part of the chord being played. And that's always something safe you can do. And it always sounds a little bit cooler because your solo doesn't just sound like you're playing, like you're just playing whatever scale over the notes. You're actually targeting some stuff. So like I'm still working on being able to do this, but I want you to be able to hear when I'm playing a G chord, like, and then when it goes to the C, and then when it goes to D, back to the G. So I'm wanting you to kind of be able to hear in that solo those chord notes. G. Here's C. D. Back to the G. Okay, let's try a 1-5-4. It's on the G. On the D. On the C. Okay, major pentatonic. On the D major. Now the whole major scale. All right, that's a 1-5-4. Now let's mess with the 1-6-4-5. That's just that GAB scale. Now here's major pentatonic. The whole major scale. So hopefully that's enough to give you the idea that you're trying to target some, using major scales, major pentatonic, and trying to target some of those chord notes. And your ear will tell you when cool stuff happens, and your ear will tell you when not cool stuff happens. And both of those are absolutely critical to learning. So this is all set up to be a big playground for you, to have somebody playing jam tracks for you, and you can just experiment over hours and see what sounds good and learn what doesn't. And it's just like learning to walk, and you fall a bunch, and when you fall, you don't think, well, I'm never going to be a walker. You just think, okay, get back up, learn to walk again. Keep practicing. So I want you to do the same thing. So if you want to learn more about fretboard toolboxes, if you go to the Fretboard Toolbox website and you go to pick your instrument, I've got books set up just like this for all these different instruments. And I've also got what's called an essential edition. So if you want to read the difference of those, that's the most common question I get asked. So be sure to click this link. I have print and ebook options. You can see all my ukulele videos. And here's look inside, lets you get all the instructions and the key of G major pages for free, so you could check out that essential book. And today we were looking at the complete, so you could click look inside and then get all the instructions plus the key of G major pages for free. And I got lots of free tools you can mess around with on strumming patterns and mastering keys and seeing piano on instruments, which is super cool. Here's all those free jam tracks, and I got a couple books on picking melodies and fiddle tunes, and I've got a book that teaches you how to make all the scales and chords on your hand. I do online lessons. Anyway, so there's lots and lots of stuff to check out. So I hope you found something interesting today, and I'll be back on more Fretboard Fridays with more videos on more of my favorite instruments. Thanks for stopping by.